everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am here with my weekly WIP and Chat. And if you are new and just aren't sure what that is, WIP stands for work in progress. In this case, I'm going to be working on a diamond painting, and chat just means that I'm going to be chatting your ear off for the next hour. So just catching up on life, talking about diamond painting and YouTube and stuff. So feel free to pull out a project to work alongside me if you like. Doesn't have to be diamond painting, it's whatever works for you. But if you are diamond painting, let me know in the comments what you are working on as we catch up a bit today. So if you're interested, I do have a playlist that'll be linked below for all the WIP and chats I've done in the past, 4+ years. So if you are like me and you honestly just really enjoy having some company while you're crafting or getting chores done around the house, sometimes it's nice to just put on a playlist of WIP and chats and just let it roll. So just so you know, I do have that playlist along with a number of others if you're curious. But speaking of curious, the name of the kit that I'm working on today that's my husband, is called So Curious. This is one of the first Disney princess kits that's come out with Diamond Art Club. It's all officially Disney licensed and everything. And so this is, I think, the first Disney princess that I've actually worked on. And it's my favorite. It's Ariel. It's got to be Ariel. So I'm sorry, I'm about to yawn. Excuse me. Okay, So Curious. Disney, The Little Mermaid. I was yawning up a storm before this, and I was like, gotta get it under control. Gotta get it under control. Sorry if I just made you yawn. But yeah, so this is the kit I'm working on. Now, I have completed the left half of this painting, and then I decided that I would hop over now to the other side and work my way over. And the last column and sections I work on will have her face and stuff like that. I just thought that would be kind of fun. So right now it's really an incredibly boring section we're going to be working on today. I'm so sorry. We're just down here in this slab of rock, right here. So I'm sorry it's not more interesting. But maybe it'll go really fast and we'll end up into the next section past that. We'll see what happens. But this kit is it's wonderful. I am liking it quite a lot. As far as tools go, I have this pen from Butterfly Effectwares, and then the putty is also from Butterfly Effectwares. I just thought that they were both very on theme as far as, the color scheme and, mermaids. So I thought we'd use these. I'm putting on again. Oh my goodness. Not the best start. Not the best start at all. Okay. The tray is from Yellow Dog Designs. There we go. Yellow Dog Designs in Canada. And I love this tray. They do such a nice job with their trays. And then I'm going to be using, this is Patty Wax Super Sticky in my single placer. And I've had this for 4.5, 5 years. I've had this a really, really long time. You can see it has seen some use. So that in my single placer, putty in my multi-placer, and then we'll be off to the races. So first though, I need to go ahead and, as usual, clean out my multi-placer tip and get everything kind of loaded up. So hello, how are you doing today? I hope that your week is off to a wonderful start as always. If you're wondering why I always do this, it's just I don't know, it's for some people that are new to diamond painting, it's helpful to see others, how they load up their pens and kind of prep them and see different materials being used, different kinds of putty, different kinds of wax. So hopefully it's helpful. Quite possible that if it goes the way that it did last week, you'll get to see a lot of just hiccups in action, bloopers in real time. So we'll see how this week goes. Have I used this one before? I think I have. I think I see a little cut out of, yeah, I have used this putty before. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I think that these came out together. Doesn't it look like it? I don't remember if that's the name of this blank, but the color scheme is awfully similar. So I bet that they came out together. They do a bundle, or at least they did. To be fair, I haven't shopped from them in a while just because I haven't been shopping almost at all. But they had a bundle, I think, where if you get a putty alongside the pen, then it's slightly discounted compared to if you were just buying separately the putty and the pen. So I think that's what I did for this one, if I had to guess. But even look, it looks so pretty in the multi-placer. Of course, that's going to last for 10 minutes, and then I'll have already gone back over to kind of smooth it down and everything. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to need another layer. It's kind of shallow. We'll give it a try and we'll reload it if we need to. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll try it. I'll just keep this handy just in case. I think there's already something in the end of this pen. I always just use sharp tweezers to clean out my ends, but the reason that I use putty in my multi-placer and wax in my single placer, and I don't tend to interchange them, is just personal preference. Different people will swear by kind of different things, and for what works for them. Oh my gosh, there's a spider. Okay, we're starting the bloopers early. Where did it go? I think, no. Oh no, I think it went under my canvas. What's happening right now? I think I got it. Oh my gosh, that was so scary. It was tiny, but it just like dropped out of nowhere. What the heck? Yeah, we're off to a great start again. That's fine. That's fine. I think I got it. It was tiny. It's more scared of me than I am of it. Okay. It's not really how I want to start this WIP and Chat, but here we go. Here we go again. Okay, blooper reels. What was I saying? Okay, personal preference for loading up your bed. I promise it was a tiny spider, but like, if it were bigger, I'd be freaking out way more, and like this would have already been stopped and I would be taking care of business. But get out the flamethrower, but it was really small. Anyway, personal preference. I just find that putty works, is what I really prefer to work with in my multi-placer. I don't know if it's because I use such a big multi-placer or what exactly it is, but that's just my personal preference is putty in my multi-placer. But I do like wax in my single placer. I don't know. I pick up my drills at a little bit of an angle, and for some reason putty, it just tends to, I don't know, not work as well for as long. I am going to risk using this again because I have not gotten a replacement yet. I'm just pressing very, very lightly, and it's like, it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. That's the sound of the plastic. I promise it's not the canvas. Yeah, no, the canvas is fine. It's all fine. All right, friends. If you missed it, I mentioned last week that I managed to cut through my Love Bard canvas using that ceramic blade pen. Yeah, so that's the thing, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, do I want to just replace that exactly like one for one with another, ceramic blade thing, or do I think it just got dull and that's why it's a problem, or do I feel like I just want to get something different, like, I don't know, eyebrow scissors, or is that what some people say they use? Because you guys gave me some suggestions last week, but I completely have forgotten. There's different things that I could use, but anyway. Okay, so like I said, hi. How are you doing today? How was your weekend? It is currently Sunday evening, as usual, when I'm sitting down to film this, wrapping up the weekend and getting ready to kick off another week. Let me grab a color and we'll get started. Let's start with that. Where's the letter U? There we go. Lots of blues. If you don't like the color blue, this might not be the canvas for you. I don't know. Like how well these drills line up in the yellow dog trays. This also has like a built-in, like the washi tape hack that was really popular, is really popular. I never found that to be something I didn't find it as useful. I don't know if it's because of how I hold my tray. The washi tape pack, I was always like, I don't totally get it, but maybe it's just not for me. I'm going to need more putty. It's already not picking up. It's kind of like ghosting some of those drills. Yeah, it just feels really shallow. I might do another layer. So yeah, let's do that. Sorry, you're learning along with me here. It's been a minute since I've used, I think, Butterfly Effect Wears putty. So let me go ahead and add a little bit more. Because I don't know if you saw, the putty itself, it's really, really thin. And so the multi-placer is just way deeper than that. So I think if I just go in and do, if I just can do over, hopefully that'll just kind of push what's in there further in, and I'll be able to have a slightly thicker layer. We'll give that a try. So yeah, it's Sunday evening. We had a pretty chill weekend here. It feels a little bit like just sort of the calm in the midst of various really busy weekends. We've had last weekend was really busy. Adam was helping out on a friend's film shoot, so he was gone most of the weekend. Next weekend is going to be really busy because we're doing a long weekend, driving to Arizona to spend some time with my family who's there for spring training. And so I think that we just were enjoying taking the weekend to just chill, enjoy some time at home with the cat, walk to the park, did a few different things, but for the most part didn't have any really crazy big plans. I did, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. I did end up doing this video that went up today. You may have already seen it, but it started out as me just trying to decide which kit to do a post review on first. Because I had both Love Bard and Found Love in a Frosty Place that I hadn't filmed post reviews for, but I had them taking up my Elizabeth Ward store. So my Elizabeth Ward storage, and I was like, I want to be able to empty these out, but I like to wait till after I film the post review before I do that, for a variety of reasons. So I was like, which one do I want to film first? And then it just kind of got my brain going, and I was like, these kits are so different from each other in a lot of ways because they were produced 5 years apart ish. I couldn't seem to go back and find the exact release date for Found Love in a Frosty Place, but I just thought, and then I just kind of followed that natural train of thought to, what would it be like to do, what's one of my favorite things to do, a comparison between these two. And then that kind of got me going down sort of this idea of doing a retrospective or a then and now type video. And so that kind of just sort of fell together. And because it came together kind of at the last minute, there were some things that I absolutely forgot. Some kind of glaringly obvious things too. And I was like, well, it's an incomplete video. And I did say something towards the end of the video where I was like, I know I forgot things. So feel free to, let me know in the comments things that I missed. So the video is comparing how Diamond Art Club's kits changed from, when they first started. In this case, I was specifically comparing a 2018, 2019 kit to a 2024 kit, and covered some various things that were obviously the same and some bigger differences like the drill quality. And I forgot one of the most obvious ones, which is that they updated the plastic cover. They now have the perforated cover. Just completely forgot about that. Yeah, so left that part out completely. And then there were some other things, even now I'm blanking on them all over again. Oh, the really, really OG kits came in solid white bags and not the transparent bags. The sticker sheets, that's another thing I'd meant to mention, just forgot. But the sticker sheets used to be different. They weren't pre-cut. They looked a little bit different. I don't think they had the start and end date spots on them, that kind of thing. So, there was stuff I forgot, but I feel like I still covered a number of different things, and hopefully it was interesting. I think just because I've been watching a lot of kind of retrospective type videos lately, that's why that was on the brain, and I think why my mind kind of went to that. But I was a little, I tend to overthink things, and I was a little bit worried that people would think that it was Diamond Art Club told her to do this. And I was like, no, they really didn't. But I know why people might assume as much. I was like, no, I am so endlessly fascinated by sort of the process of how diamond paintings get made and what kind of goes on behind the scenes. And I like to really notice these little tiny differences. And it's just really fascinating to me. I guess you could really call it a special interest in the plainest of terms. But I don't know. Me, I like to overthink what other people are thinking of me sometimes. And I was like, I don't know if people are going to believe me when I'm like, I wasn't asked to do this, but I guess it's in some ways it's just not, there's only so much I can do. It's not completely my problem. So I enjoyed doing that video. It was fun to kind of go down memory lane and think back to, a Diamond Art Club kit was the third kit that I worked on. The first two kits were from Amazon. They were these really cheap unlicensed kits. And so opening up my first Diamond Art Club kit really felt like a huge luxury, all the stuff that came with it, especially compared to these really, really cheap Amazon kits. So it was kind of taking me right back to that. The nostalgia hits hard. But yeah, I liked putting that video together. It didn't even occur to me to potentially do that as a face-to-face video. I thought I'm just going to do overhead because, it was originally intended to just be a post review video, and things like post reviews, month in reviews, I think make more sense to do overhead because it's a lot easier for me to get up close to the canvas and show you guys things, which I did do in this video as well. So anyway, that was a really, really fun video to do. I would like to poll you guys for your opinions because I know a lot of people left comments about this on that video. But not everyone is necessarily going to watch that video and or read the comments. So I wanted to ask here for you guys as well. If you've worked on, I think particularly if it's a more recent release from Diamond Art Club. I'm curious if you've had any trouble with the glue on those kits, because I guess I've seen a couple people mention it in the VIP group, and then there were a handful of comments about it on this particular video where people were saying like, oh, one change I've noticed is the glue is giving me trouble lately. And I have to be 100% honest with you guys. I have not personally run into that myself just yet. The glue, and this is this one of the newest releases I've worked on? I think this came out in November? Was it in November? Was it December? I don't remember. So it's pretty recent, and it seems to be an issue more with recent releases. So I guess I would just be curious to hear like if you've run into it, and when did that kit come out? If you did have trouble with the glue, some people are saying it's more slippery than usual. So, and I'm always going to be an advocate of like, well, I'm not customer service, but if you're having issues, whether it's from Diamond Art Club or any other company, I am a huge proponent of they can't make changes if they're not aware that there is an issue, or they can't look into a problem if they're not aware that there is a problem. So I would definitely recommend contacting customer support to let them know if you're having issues like that. But I just thought I would go ahead and ask your input here too, just out of curiosity. I'll be keeping an eye on some of these like newer kits as I work on them. But to be honest, after I finish So Curious, I am most likely going to work on something that's not from Diamond Art Club, because I've done a lot of Diamond Art Club kits here back to back. And I honestly, I'm ready to work on something a little bit different from a different company. I'm slowly narrowing it down. I think I want to work on something from my list of 20 kits for 2025. And I might have my Patreon or YouTube memberships help me decide like which of those specifically to work on. But I'm looking at, maybe a kit from the Creativity Squirrel, or from, what's the name? The other ones I was thinking of. Diamond Painting Shop, Carrot Art, Jada Gem Shop. There's a handful of different kits in particular that I was thinking might be fun to work on, and that I'll probably be traveling with to Arizona, because I think I will finish this kit up before we go. I might try to see if I can get through this whole kit before we leave, so I can just take one kit with me. So that's kind of what I have in mind, though, for what to work on next, is just something else from my list of kits for 2025. Maybe a square drill kit? I don't know. I've had a good balance of square versus round drill kits so far this year. Even though I don't necessarily intentionally set out to work on the same amount of squares versus rounds, it seems to balance itself out organically, because I tend to, after I've completed a kit or two with round drills, I'm in the mood to work on a kit with square drills, and vice versa. I'm not one to let whether or not a kit comes in a particular drill shape be the deciding factor for if I'm going to get the kit. I tend to just buy the kit if the artwork speaks to me and I'm in love with the artwork itself. I guess the drill shape would only come into play if it were artwork that I were on the fence about. And in that case, it's like the size and the drill shape is going to come into play, as well as if I can tell how much confetti it has. So it's like if it is a really large kit, if it has square drills, if it has a ton of confetti, and it's a kit that I was otherwise on the fence on, that would probably make me less likely to buy it, because I know it's going to be a bigger undertaking, and I have to really love the artwork a lot to be good with that sort of bigger undertaking, which was what happened with Love Bard. I finished Love Bard last week, not too long after that WIP and Chat, just a couple of days after. And that was a big kit. There were some areas that had a good amount of confetti, and I loved working on that kit. It was so happy. Just so fun to see all the fun, like little nerdy elements and like little sweet elements come together. It was wonderful. I loved it. So continuing to just really enjoy working on kits that I'm working on for me, that I really, really love the artwork. And that was one of my goals for this year. So I feel like I'm noticing the difference in how it is paying off. So, but yeah, I have to keep working on, okay, what I want to work on next. I still want it to be something that I love, but it'll be fun to work on something from a different company, maybe a company that I haven't completed a kit from before. Anyway, so what else was I going to talk about? Thanks for the fun WIP and Chat last week. That was like just leaving it completely blooper filled. you could see that, you know, as many years of diamond painting as I might have under my belt, I still run into really silly issues like that from time to time. So it's nice. It's nice to know that I'm not alone. Sometimes it just lots of things like to try to go a little bit sideways, but I enjoy getting to just be very myself and just not put together all the time with you guys. Speaking of just sort of being myself, and I mean, this actually probably sounds like maybe I'm more put together, but I wanted to briefly touch on my unboxing videos. And I get these kind of questions or remarks every once in a while. I don't get upset. I'm not offended. I'm not taking it any sort of way, but it sometimes will get my mind going a little bit just to say, oh, I wonder how many other people are thinking this. But my unboxing videos, whether it's something that I do for lack of a better word, PR, like a sneak peek unboxing for Diamond Art Club, or, you know, Jada Gem Shop or Neighbors Outpost sends me a kit to unbox, I have never in my life done a scripted video. I have never been given a script. I haven't even been told, like, we need you to say X, Y, and Z, and make sure that you mention this, make sure you mention that. The most that tends to happen is that I might ask the company, I'm like, hey, is there anything specific you want me to go ahead and make sure I mention? Like, oh, do you have a particular new product coming out you want me to mention? Or is there something about this kit that you feel like is unique that you want me to point out that I might not otherwise notice myself, or something like that? But the reason that I think that my unboxing videos, particularly videos that you see me do often, like sneak peeks, the reason they probably sound scripted is because I looked at my unboxing playlist the other day, actually. I think it was almost 300 videos on my unboxing playlist, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's like I just have done a lot of them, and I tend to be hyper efficient to a fault. And I've seen a couple of people comment that they think this could be a little bit like related to being autistic too, just sort of this idea of you sort of find a rhythm and you find what works and you just kind of roll with it. And it's hard to, even if you are genuinely happy and excited about a thing, it's hard for it to not sound like it's part of a script, I guess. But so I totally understand that sort of thought. I even had a friend mention to me after I said something about, like, oh, you know, someone, you know, else commented they thought that this was, you know, scripted, and they're like, actually, I thought that your videos, like, that these were scripted as well. I was like, they're not. I promise that they're not. And I think a lot of probably people with YouTube channels, it's like if they're doing unboxing videos, or if they started a channel, it's likely that they were watching some other YouTube channels before doing those unboxings, and so they might sort of have some of those things in the back of their head, or thinking like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to say, or things I'm supposed to make sure that I mention or cover. So I think that could be part of it as well. But actually, I have been really, really, really fortunate that I have never had a company. I feel like this is kind of strangely fortunate, actually. I've never had a company come back and tell me, like, hey, we want you to, like, go back and change what you said in this video, or we really, really, like, you have to do this particular thing. There have been one or two companies that have contacted me about potentially working together, that they did have a kind of stricter set of bullet points and expectations, and just for a variety of reasons, it wasn't the right fit. It's not typically really how I love to do things. I guess it's not to say that couldn't hypothetically change, but I don't like the idea of feeling like I have to do something a certain way or whatnot, just because, like, something has been sent to me. It's weird. It you know, you could argue certainly that there's the subconscious, like, oh, I want to make sure that I, you know, say things, you know, put a good spin on it or something, because I, you know, want this company to keep working with me. But I really, 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 really try, like, to be aware that it's possible to have that subconscious bias and, like, fight it back, you know. Definitely not perfect, but I, you know, I try. Like, I'm well aware that that is a common issue. That's a thing. It could be be a little tricky, but yeah, I guess it's just a really, really long-winded way to say that, believe it or not, like my unboxing videos, they just sound scripted because I just, over time, I figured out these are the ways that I like to sort of fill, this dead space at this part, or this sort of makes sense to kind of go about things in this order and to, go through this. And just as like a person wanting to communicate helpful information, it's like, these are things that I would want to know if I were watching this video, or if I'm brand new to this company, or even just to diamond painting in general. It's like, yeah, I'm going to cover these different things, and yeah, no, they're going to sound the same a lot. And so I think for some people, they're like, this is grating that it all sounds very samey. And so they'll just scroll ahead to see, the canvas, the special drill placement, and then click away. You know what? I've been guilty of doing that myself. I shouldn't say guilty of doing that, because there's nothing wrong with doing that. You do what works for you. On the other hand, I've had some people say that they actually enjoy sort of knowing what the flow of things is going to be and what it's going to be like, because then they can pick out more easily the unique things. Like when I do say things that are standing out to me or are a little bit different, it's easier to sort of pick out what's unique about the kits in that way, or it just feels like comforting. So the good news is there's lots and lots and lots of different YouTube channels out there, and different people have different approaches. So I really, really genuinely hope that you're able to find YouTube channels that you click really well with the creator. They're your vibe, and you like how they present things and talk about things. And yeah, I mean, I really hope that's the case. So anyway, just random little tangents and thoughts about having a YouTube channel here. As far as other things that have been going on. So this week really was kind of a roller coaster of a week, emotionally and physically. There's been a lot that has been going on. And just family and stuff. Kind of the biggest thing is that I'm sure I mentioned this last week, but I had a biopsy on Wednesday, and I'm really thankful that apparently my doctor works Saturdays, because I got a message like in my patient portal Saturday morning saying that my results came back normal, which I'm incredibly relieved and so happy about. I was expecting, since I didn't hear by the end of the day Friday, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to wait the weekend. And so it was a really nice surprise to wake up to that message on Saturday. And so, yeah, it's a really good thing, because if those results had come back otherwise, with the C word or something else, that just obviously would have changed a lot about the surgery, like the procedure that I have on the schedule for a couple weeks from now. So thankfully, this means that all of that's going to be able to move forward as scheduled. I know that there have been some of my videos where I've talked more openly about this, and there's some videos where I have been more cagey about it. Honestly, sometimes I'm not totally sure how much to share, in part because I don't know for how many of you might be like, this is just like, we didn't come here to hear about your medical issues. And for some of you might be like, no, I want to know what's going on, so that I don't know. You guys hear a lot about my personal life, so I could understand if you're thinking, well, no, I do want to know what's going on. And some of you, someone I think even commented, and I've gotten a message or two. It's like, some people have guessed, I think, if you've dealt with this kind of thing before. But basically, I'm really anemic, and so the procedures on schedule to take care of it is something called an ablation. If I would have gotten bad results from the couple of biopsies that I've had done recently, it would have been a much more invasive procedure, like probably a hysterectomy. But thankfully, that is not something we have to do right now. So yeah, this procedure it's outpatient, and I have, heard really good things about it, and lots of people have said that they've had a really positive experience with it. This should really help with a lot of quality of life things, because it ties into some of my chronic, but it potentially ties into some of my chronic health issues, like my migraines. Like when you're really anemic, that can lead to, more headaches, more migraines, and my overall fatigue, which, leads to some other issues too. So I'm just really, really hoping that this is going to help significantly in those areas. And along with some other things I won't get into for sake of TMI, but I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. And I almost don't want to get my hopes up too much because we won't really know how well it's going to work until afterward, but it typically has a, pretty high like success and satisfaction rate from people that have it done. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take me out of commission for. Like, I've heard some people say they bounce back really within a couple of days, and some people that were kind of down and out for longer. So I am just going to hope for the best, but, plan for, backup, situations if we need to. My mom is going to come out for, I think, the week kind of surrounding that date. And so she and Adam can kind of tag team, both supporting me and, taking care of the kids and stuff too. So obviously, like, that may affect videos that week. I'm sure you guys will understand. You always do. But I hope this is going to help with some things, and we'll see. This has been one of those things that has been on and off the schedule for almost a year now. There have been some complicating factors, like various things that have come up, like, doctor had to reschedule a couple of times. Then we, Adam losing his job in our insurance situation. It changed. And so there's part of me that thinks that it's going to fall through at the last minute or something like that. And there's part of me that's like so nervous about it that it's like, ooh, I almost hope something comes up that, changes things, because the only other time I've been under general anesthesia was when I had my wisdom teeth out, and I'm actually not 100% that was like full on general anesthesia. I think it was. I don't think it was just twilight sleep or whatever, but like that was a long time ago. So there's part of me that's nervous about like being under general anesthesia and just that whole process. But it's going to be worth it. I hope it's going to be worth it. So anyway, that's kind of that update. Like I said, I know some of these videos, a lot of these videos, I've been a little cagier about it. I think especially just with the question mark of like, is this what we're going to move forward with, or is it going to need to be something else? I was feeling like I wasn't quite ready to talk about it, but it's so close. It's more on the brain. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with going ahead and mentioning a little bit more. So any positive thoughts you have to send my way, if this happens to be like a procedure that you've had, and if you feel like sharing your experience, hopefully it's a positive one, you can send me an email, but no obligation. Obviously, I'm not going to ask anyone to share about their medical stuff, but yeah. So anyway, thanks for letting me share about that. So there's that. And then other things that, well, okay, actually, hold on. Because I need to a tiny bit rant. So the biopsy, I know I jumped right to like, oh, it's good news, and here's what this means. That biopsy was significantly more painful than I was expecting. And I could go on a whole rant. Like, I could stand on a soapbox for hours about women's healthcare and pain management and what women are just, the standard of practice is as far as what women are just sort of expected to deal with in terms of pain and pain levels. And it almost feels barbaric, like the things that it's like, oh, there was no pain management. It was, you take some Advil beforehand. And I had done some research about this biopsy, and I had just seen a lot of things really across the board. A lot of women saying that it was very painful. Some women saying like, oh, it wasn't painful at all. I was hoping I was going to be the latter, but unfortunately it was not. And I was really glad that Adam went with me. It was while the kids were at school. But I basically, like, it was so physically painful and honestly kind of emotionally upsetting that I like slept like the rest of the day. I couldn't really, like, sitting and walking were painful. It was horrible, honestly. And I just thought, why is this the norm in terms of women's healthcare? And it's like, I don't even hold it necessarily against my doctor. It's just like, no, this is just the standard of how this is done. And I'm like, just because it's a standard doesn't mean that it's right. So anyway, that was not fun. And it knocked me out for like all day that day. And the next day, like, I was starting to feel better. And then by now I'm feeling, basically 100% better, but I wasn't totally expecting it to knock me on my butt that hard. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, Advil didn't, it's not necessarily what I would consider appropriate pain management, but oh well. Okay, leaving that soapbox. So that was like Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. Before that, so Monday the kids had off school, and Adam ended up taking Connor down to spend some time with with one of his cousins, and they were playing, Roblox together and stuff. And I ended up taking Micah actually to Chuck E. Cheese, and we have this like monthly pass thing that my mom got them for Christmas, and it's so nice. You can go like any day, and you get like so many points to use like on the games and stuff. And it ends up working out too. If we take both kids, it's the perfect amount of time. It's like an hour of play. And, by the time that's over, they're ready to be done. So I just took Micah. So he got like the whole 100 points to use for himself. And so we were there for almost 2 hours. He played skee ball for like 20 minutes straight. And it's so cute because Micah's my youngest. He's pretty little, and I think he just really enjoys the concept of skee ball, but he's not good at it. But he just is having so much fun, and I love it. I love just see. He like has this whole wind up. Like he will want to walk like 6-7 feet away so that he can like run up and like wind up to like, throw the ball, roll the ball. And it still is like, oh, it might get to like the second row of points, like, 2,000 instead of 1,000. But more often than not, it's going like off to the side and is getting 0 points. But he was having a great time. But then it was, he was having a tough day on Monday. I think that probably reacting to just the huge changes that come with changing schools and changing classes, which I've talked about the past couple weeks. They kind of moved him up. He kind of graduated into the next special ed class up. But that involved changing schools and changing classes. And I have, there's a variety of reasons why they did it mid-year. I know that it probably sounds kind of unusual, but it's not totally outside like the realm of possibility when it comes to, special ed, and it's when his annual IEP meeting was and stuff. So, I mean, we could have pushed back and said like, let's wait, but we just thought, this could make a really big difference and could be we thought it was the right call after talking to everybody. But it's been a bit of a harder transition than we were expecting. And I feel like this is kind of where I think spoon theory is just the easiest way to describe it. But I feel like when kids are going through, or people are going through bigger transitions, if you struggle with, autism or chronic health issues, is usually where you hear spoon theory referred to in relation to, is that I think of it as like sort of a flexibility threshold, really, where it's like there's a big transition that's taking up more of your spoons, that you have to give towards, just going about your day to day. In this case, I felt like it was sort of expending more of Micah's flexibility threshold. And it's like, because his mind was kind of working through and dealing with all these big changes, that meant that he sort of had less patience and less kind of flex to give, and just sort of had a harder time staying regulated when he's at home. And that's like, a really safe place to sort of not be okay and stuff like that. So it just felt like every little thing was sort of setting off a meltdown. Like Chuck E. Cheese has been really busy, so I had to park the car in like just a slightly different area than we usually park when we go to this Chuck E. Cheese. But then when we went to leave the restaurant, Micah was really upset because we had to walk to a different area to go back to our car. And it gets to a point where it's like, kind of no matter how much you talk them through it, it's like if they're just feeling really upset and dysregulated, there's only so much you can do. You just kind of try to support, give hugs, try to help them regulate and talk them through it. Sometimes just let them have a moment if they need to have a moment. And then we kind of figured it out. But I was feeling a little wiped out, and it brings to mind sort of, I'm sure there's a term for it, but when you have like a neurodivergent household where different people have sort of neurodivergencies going on, like, so I'm autistic, both my kids are autistic, and the thing is like sometimes we have clashing needs. But the thing is I'm the parent, like I'm pulling it, like I'm holding, obviously, like I'm the one that's holding it together, and I'm, dealing with whatever dysregulation or whatever I'm struggling with, because I'm going to take care of my kids. Like, I'm going to make sure they get what they need. And this is one of those moments where I was like, I'm not feeling super level right now, but I'm pulling it together because Micah needs me to help him get through this. I don't know where I'm going with this, but all this to say that Monday was just a tough day. I had mixed feelings about kind of the rest of the week. At one point I got a message it felt like almost every day I was just getting a message from his teacher, like, okay, here's the struggles that he's having at school. And I just felt like, there's one behavior in particular that I was like, we have not seen this in years. What is happening? And so I just had a moment where I was like, did we make a mistake? Do we need to move him back? We're, not jumping the gun on anything, but, there's some other changes that are happening. Like his teacher's now leaving on maternity leave. So it's like, she's going to be gone. There's going to be a long-term sub. So we're just taking it one thing at a time. I'm going to probably talk to like the school psychologist just to touch base with a long-term sub. We'll see if we feel like it's the right fit. And this is still just a transition period, or what other supports we need to put into place. But just sending lots of love to any of my fellow special needs parents. It's tough, but I just hope that, if someone hasn't told you lately, you are doing a fantastic job. Like, it is hard sometimes. But it's also incredibly rewarding and wonderful sometimes too. So sometimes, some days, all I need is for someone to just remind me, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to not be okay. And also, like, you've got this. You're doing such a better job than you give yourself credit for. And so this is what I'm saying to you guys, in case there are any of you that really needs to hear that today. And even if you're not a special needs parent, you just need that reminder for your day-to-day. You are doing a wonderful job. I'm really proud of you. And keep taking it one day at a time, because sometimes that's all you can do. And that's okay. Like, your best can be enough. Your best can be enough. Okay, enough for the sappy stuff. Other things that are going on. I did finally get my car into the mechanic. It didn't really necessarily need to go, but I had gotten my car used back in May of last year, and it hadn't had like the oil change light come on yet, and I hadn't had to take it in for any other kinds of maintenance. So with this Arizona trip coming up and we're going to take my car, I was like, let me go ahead and take it in, because I just know otherwise we're going to get like an hour or two into the drive to Arizona, and it's going to be like, okay, time for an oil change. Also, you're having issues with your brakes. Like, I don't know. I just was assuming that's when stuff's going to go wrong, because I hadn't had the chance to take it to our mechanic yet. I'd intended on taking it to our mechanic shortly after I got it, just to have them do like a once over, like give it an inspection, make sure all's like looking good, give me a sense for what issues may be, looming. Like, is it looking like the brakes are going to have issues soon? Or is there anything weird going on under the hood? And I love our mechanics so much. I feel like if you can find a good car mechanic, they're worth their weight in gold. Like, keep them, love them, treasure them. We've had ours for like almost 15 years now on a referral from a friend, and they're just amazing. So I just need them to look at this car and make sure that all is looking good. And I was pleasantly surprised. They did the oil change, because they were like, oh, here's what you can see, like what your oil life is and stuff. And they were like, it was good that you did it before you went to Arizona, but you would have also, been okay too. So I did the oil change. They said everything else looks fine. I was like, perfect. I love good news. That's delightful. So happy to get that good news. My car's in good shape for our trip. So we are going to be gone for a long weekend, and, we can do this as a pretty budget-friendly trip. My parents, like I said, have an Airbnb that they're renting for the couple of months that they're there, and we're just going to stay with them. And the kids are really excited. I guess the swimming pool is open in the neighborhood where they're doing their Airbnbs. So they're like, bring your swimsuits. Connor is so excited. He's also just really excited to see Grandma and Grandpa. So I'm hoping they're going to be really good travelers again. I'm pretty optimistic. I mean, they did great when we were traveling over the holidays, and also when we did this trip to Arizona last year. So we're also hoping that since we're going not on a holiday weekend, because last year we went on a holiday weekend and the drive there was, oh my gosh, we sat in just parking lot traffic, and we left on a Friday last year. This year we're leaving on a Thursday. So I'm just hoping that means the drive there is going to go a little bit smoother and that we're not just going to be sitting in a parking lot of traffic the whole time. Because the way we have to go getting out of Southern California, it just during rush hour, it's terrible in terms of traffic. If you live out here and you're wondering, I'm talking about like the Corona crawl. Like it's always on the radio, when you're talking about traffic. It's absolutely crazy. That's the way we have to go to get out in the direction of Arizona. So I'm also hoping this trip goes smoother in that I hope that my kids don't get sick. When we were driving to Arizona last year, a couple hours into our drive, Connor starts saying, my throat really hurts. It hurts to swallow. It's hurting more when I swallow. And ended up taking to some urgent care in Arizona like the next day, and he tested positive for strep throat. So we're just really, really hoping that everybody stays healthy this year, and just really looking forward to having some good family time. We're gonna try to take both kids, I think, to one of the spring training baseball games. Connor has been to some baseball games, like he went to a couple last season. Micah, we have not tried to take to one since he was like little. So I think we're going to try to take him, and we'll probably have to take two cars anyway. So it's like, if Micah really is just not having it, then, one of us can bail and take him home. But fingers crossed, like maybe he'll be into it. And if it's like, oh, we'll just go for a little walk and stretch our legs. I feel like spring training games just generally have a different vibe than, the regular season. So hopefully it'll just be very chill, and, we can take turns just taking him for little walks and stuff like that. So excited for that. Excited for family time. I am going to take my diamond painting with me. I hope I'm going to have this one done so I can take a new one with me. And I already asked my mom, I was like, do you want to do a WIP and Chat when I'm there? Because we'll be there till Monday. So Sunday night, she and I, or even Saturday night, she and I could film a WIP and Chat to go up on Monday. You guys have always been so sweet and welcoming when she's joined me for WIP and Chat. So if you have any questions or things that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave those in the comments below. She's a fellow diamond painter. Was she telling me she's about to finish, or she just finished her first Jaded Gem Shop kit? She did the Apprentice, right? So, and I'm not sure. Oh, she's doing Books and Nooks next by Yume from Diamond Art Club. So I'm excited to see her work on that one. I have that one in my stash, but I haven't worked on it yet. Okay, we finished this section. We still have a little bit to go, so I'm just going to shift this canvas down so we can open up the next section at least. This is going to be a little treacherous. Hold on just a second. I'm telling you, this kit is going so fast when I've got these color blocking sections in particular. Okay, so we're going to look at the bottom of the music box. You can see like Ariel's eye and mouth up there. Is that a little bit creepy? Like the part of it that's like, if it was just this little weird, like one eye. Okay, I think, let me just open this up. And we'll at least get a little bit of a start to this next section. So yeah, we'll be in Arizona next week. I'm going to try to do some filming ahead, but every once in a while, like this past week, when that biopsy just completely knocked me out, I was like, well, it's going to be a 4 video week because I didn't exactly film ahead for this because I wasn't expecting this to be this rough, and I'm not filming like that particular night that I otherwise would have had to film. So it might, you'll see occasional 4 video weeks for me instead of my kind of standard 5. And I know that that's like a really dangerous game to play with the YouTube algorithm, because the YouTube algorithm is like a brutal, unfathomable monster. Like, who knows what is going to like get you in its good graces or get you like dumped out of its good graces. All I know is that, typically speaking, like, consistency is really, really, really important. And so there's part of me that's like, oh, 5 weeks where I only do 4 videos, I'm gonna pay for it. But whatever. It is what it is. So I have some different like unboxings and stuff. I was gonna try to do another Pixels video because I have a little order or 2 that have come in, but I thought I also wanted to maybe do like a post review too as part of that. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm noodling on what kinds of videos I might want to do this week. I realized I talked a lot about Micah. I didn't talk a whole lot about Connor and how he's doing. He's doing great. He's such a fantastic kid. I love him a lot, and I love how his little brain works. He's asking lots and lots of questions. He was very cute when we went to the Irvine Park Railroad yesterday. That's what we did with our day yesterday. Micah asks to go there like every single day, and we go, maybe once a month, just because he has to like pay to park. It's this whole thing. But we did go finally yesterday, and the kids just love riding the train. Micah loves trains. Connor loves railroad crossings. And so we always do what Connor calls touring the railroad crossings afterward, where it's just where he wants to be able to walk up and get basically as close to the actual railroad crossing itself in terms of like the arms, the bells, the lights. He wants to get closer to them so he can look at them, and he'll stand there and he'll tell you, oh, this is like a WCH type this mechanical bell, and it has this type of light, and has this and this, and I just love so much how much he loves railroad crossings and how excited he is to just do little things like this. But he's a little bit irked because the lights have been out on like 2 of the 6 lights at this railroad crossing at the Irvine Park Railroad have been out for a couple of months now. And he just is like, I don't understand, like, why aren't they fixing it? That's not very safe. And he's like, maybe we can get a railroad crossing on Amazon and I can bring it here and offer to replace it for them, or I can hold it so that I'm helping. And I love this kid so much. I love how his little brain works. I also just love his very matter of fact, like, this is a problem and I have a solution. And there's part of me that does, like, I might go ahead and actually look into this just to see, not to like be a Karen or whatever, but just like send a message and just be like, I don't know if you were aware, but to whoever at the park, we noticed that these lights were out, and just in case you were unaware, they are. I don't know if that's something you might want to replace, but FYI. And part of me will want to be like, and my son took a look, and you're going to need to get this kind of light and this kind of thing. So I just love it so much. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to find things that are really specifically about railroad crossings and not just like about trains. Because I tried to look into some different things like train museums or expos and stuff, and it does tend to be really specifically about trains, like the actual vehicles themselves, as opposed to like the crossings. And it's like, well, it's very specific, but it's the railroad crossings themselves that have been Connor's special interest for, like 2 years now. My second cousin, the one that I just got all weepy about because he was so amazing with Connor at Christmas, was the one who was like, you gotta get this kid like into some civil engineering type stuff, because this is cool stuff. So I should look into some of those like STEM programs that are available as he's getting a little bit older. But anyway, I just thought I would share a cute little Connor story. He also cracked me up the other day because I was filming a vlog clip, so I have video evidence of this too, which is really fun. Where I was talking about like how, the kids, I don't get to walk them both to school together anymore since Micah changed schools. And that, makes me emotional. And Connor was riding with me in the car, and from the back seat, he hears me say the word emotional. He goes, emotional damage. I know I'm not saying the inflection right, but if you know what that's from. And it was so unexpected because I've never, I didn't know Connor knew that, reference or whatever. And I just cracked up laughing. And Connor likes nothing more than making us laugh. And so he starts giggling, and he wanted to, of course, say it again and get me to laugh that hard again. It was just so funny. And so now that's all I'm going to think of when I talk about if I'm feeling emotional. So, oh my gosh, kids out of the mouths of babes. As far as what I've been reading, watching, and listening to, I'm sure you'll be ever so shocked to hear that I am still in a reading rut, but I tell you what, I keep hearing and talking to people about Brandon Sanderson. I think that's going to be what I end up giving a try to, when I try to get out of this reading rut. It might be that instead of, Iron Wing, Onyx Storm. It might be Brandon Sanderson. We'll see. And as far as what I have been watching, Adam and I finished the first season of Star Trek Discovery, and I don't think they had finished that by my WIP and Chat last week. I think we were still in the middle of it. But we finished the first season, and you know what? I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really did. I like a lot of the cast in it. A lot of people that like I recognize. And we'll go ahead and start season 2 here, pretty soon. So definitely on our radar to keep rolling with it. But it's a lot easier to get through shows faster. We kind of just sit at the kitchen table and we're both kind of working on our different things, and we just set up, the laptop or iPad or whatever and just let it roll right there. I'm like, oh, we're getting through things a lot faster instead of us both having to unplug from our, stuff that we're trying to work on and go sit in the living room. So I don't know. It's fun. And then Adam just started Severance the other day, and I've heard so many people talk about Severance, and Adam's like, yeah, you should probably try watching it because it's really good. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm ready to open up a whole new show right this very moment, but I keep hearing people talk about it. So maybe I have a feeling some of you in the comments will be like, yes, go watch Severance. It's so good. Anyway, so yeah, no, that's on my radar too. And then as far as listening to, I have had a lot of different videos on in the background while I've been diamond painting that I've been treating like podcasts. I do this a lot with various YouTube channels and videos where sometimes it's diamond painting related. Sometimes I get off onto really random other topics. And lately it's been, speaking of nostalgia, like I was earlier in this video, it's been a lot of the retro gaming type videos. And I think I mentioned this last week, but I ended up on this rabbit hole of different Pokemon, the Gen 1 games related videos and kind of retrospectives and stuff. And that's kind of spun off until I watched this really interesting video about, it was Zelda Ocarina of Time and some of the other Zelda games. And I don't know, it's just fun to kind of go back and watch these people that really dig into different things about these games that were part of my formative years as a child. So that's, retro gaming is really the rabbit hole I've been down on YouTube for kind of podcast style videos lately. And yeah, I think that's really it as far as my reading and watching and listening to. You guys will have to let me know if you have any recommendations for any of those particular categories. Now, as far as what I have coming up this week, I guess I kind of already touched on it, but even though I'll be out of town starting Thursday, I'm going to try to do some filming the next couple evenings so that I will have some videos for you. I am still slowly but surely working my way through some different unboxings from various small shops. And so I'll have some of those for you guys. And there's a couple other things that I'm kind of mulling over. Some different accessories things. I bought a pen for literally the first time this year. I bought a pen last week, and I'm kind of thinking, I haven't done a small shop haul in a while. I do still have this little stash of packages that I'm kind of trying to stretch out for as ridiculously long as possible. So I may pull those out to do a little small shop haul. We'll see. I think I'm about caught up as far as post reviews go. If I finish this one, I'm not sure if I'll do a dedicated post review on it right away, or if it'll just sit for a bit, or if I won't even necessarily do a post review on it. I'm not sure. So yeah, I guess technically the end of February is coming up really soon too. I don't necessarily have plans to do a month in review until I get back from Arizona, but yeah, that'll probably come after next week's WIP and Chat. But anyway, guys, let's see if you made it all the way to the end of this video. How about a mermaid emoji in honor of Ariel, or Little Mermaid here? We got through a good chunk of this kit. I think I could finish this before we leave on Thursday. I think I can. I don't think that I'm stretching myself. I don't think I'm pushing myself too hard to say that, because I only have one other column and then half of this column. So I think so, unless some other stuff comes up. But anyway, leave me a mermaid emoji. Let me know what you were working on while we chatted today, and just how you're doing. So thanks for spending some time with me in this week's WIP and Chat. I try to do my WIP and Chats every Monday morning, as long as, schedule doesn't throw a wrench in things, which the next couple of weeks it very well could. We'll see, for example, how the Wi-Fi upload speed is when I'm at my parents' Airbnb, and the following week we'll just kind of see how things shake out with my surgery and stuff. So We're just gonna play it by ear. But anyway, please subscribe as well. Did I say that? If you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe. If you liked this video, I'd love to have you here. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up. My mind is just flat drawing a blank. I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna finish this section and get going. And yeah, so have a great week, friends. Thanks again for watching. I hope that you are doing well and taking care, and that you have a day that's as amazing as you are. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.